podcasts air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Why must the world be so cold? They've gone against what was told. Thinking rape is cool? Think about it. They think it's not wrong. Violence against women, the rape, the abuse, the emotional, physical, they all hold the hate. Think about it. Is it right or wrong? What attracts you? I'm not saying no names, but you laugh. Talk about it like nothing is wrong. Think about it. They all hold the hate. Gotta stop the violence. Stop the hate. Think about it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in October. Learn about their bachelor's degree programs on October 20th. Explore master's degrees and doctoral degrees on October 23rd. At the open house, you can attend a session about financial aid and receive help from financial aid staff. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis Police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 65, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 87. He's greedy, he's scrumptious, he's horrid. The enormous crocodile slithers onto the stage in the U.S. premiere of the smash UK hit at Children's Theatre. From jungle creatures to outer space adventures and a wild dance party, you won't want to miss it. Playing now through November 22nd. Tickets at childrenstheatre.org.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, I just wanted to bring up just a shout out to all the people out there that were observing Orange Shirt Day, Every Child Matters, yesterday on September 30th. And to remind everyone, too, it began in Canada in 2013 as a grassroots movement to honor Indigenous children who were taken from their families and forced into residential schools. The orange shirt represents the story of Phyllis Webstad, and who had her new orange shirt taken away on her first day at the residential school when she was 6 years old. And it's amazing. It's been going on for a while, and I seem to have seen a lot more observing of this across Indian country. And just a big shout out to everybody that wearing orange. And earlier today, I was talking to State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we were talking about maybe we should have a month on wearing orange shirts and talk about it, because I'm kind of surprised too that a lot of people and our allies don't know about this, and so it's very important, I believe, to bring it up here on Native Roots Radio and all across Turtle Island. Really kind of a sad day today. I'm going to have Wendy come on later in the show and talk about Jane Goodall, and she'll talk about how we were able to see her in New York speak 2 years ago, and she passed away at 91 years old. And so it's just a sad day here at the pilot residency. And today's guest is going to be Arvina Martin, executive director of Emerge Wisconsin, and we're always excited to talk talk about what's going on nationally and locally and what's happening in Wisconsin, because we have a big following in Wisconsin. I want to give a shout out too to all the people that come up to me and say, it's funny, I got a message back from somebody that I know that works with Ho Chunk Nation, and he said, I forgot to tell you, my mom really loves your show. And I'm just going, oh, we got the grandmas and the moms, so we're excited about that. And and again, it really means a lot to me when you do come up and talk to us and say that we listen to your show and we appreciate you. That means the world to us. And I know Wendy and I have run into that a lot lately, just being out and about, and so that's been really, really fun. And again, a big thank you to everybody that does come up and say hi to us. It makes a big difference. Also, too, I never really talk about this, but we have a Patreon, and please feel free if you want to buy us a cup of coffee every month. That'd be awesome, and supporting us in any way you can. We really appreciate that, and I want to give a shout out to all the people that are supporting us on Patreon, and that's Patreon, Native Roots Radio Media, and Patreon. So if you feel like supporting us in that way, and always support our sponsors and people that support Native Roots Radio. Just a second here. I just lost Arvina. She was on, and I don't see her on now. We have a lot to talk about, a lot going on, how the government shutdowns affecting us in Indian country and things like that. So as soon as she gets back on, we're gonna add her on and talk to her. Hey, there's our friend Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Urge Wisconsin. How are you doing today? Great to see you as always. Thank you so much. I want to say this publicly. Thank you so much for being so flexible about being on the show. It's really, it means a lot to me. We had a special Minneapolis mayor show yesterday, and we had to. There was a lot of candidates running for mayor in Minneapolis, and it was pretty interesting and exciting. And thank you again for being so flexible, and thank you for being on Native Roots Radio as always.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good time for me. I, don't have a lot going on around 5 o'clock. So, it helps that my availability is pretty open at that time, but I'm always happy to come and talk about, what's happening or what's, nationwide in Wisconsin or, politically. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. And, I'm always okay with being bumped for a political forum or candidates trying to reach their voters. I totally understand that.
That's your jam, by the way, and I appreciate that. I want to talk about a couple things real quick. And Wounded Knee Medals decision, Defense Secretary Pete Hagstead has affirmed that the U.S. soldiers who received the Medal of Honor in the massacre of the 1890 Wounded Knee Massacre are going to get to keep their medals now. And so I know a few years ago, I think under the Biden administration, that was reneged because it was a massacre. It was no battle. And now we see how things are nationally here. And it's kind of frightening for me to see that they're taking aim at this right now.
I mean, it's first of all, I don't know that people are talking about the whole issue right, at the moment. So like, I don't know that it's it's not in the news at the moment other than this action. I don't know who is clamoring for this action besides Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump, maybe JD Vance as well. I don't know. And that the line in the sand, or the hill that he's going to die on, one of the many hills he's going to die on is protecting medals from soldiers that shot unarmed women and children who were clearly trying to flee. That's the kind of military he apparently wants to build. And I think we saw a bit of that as well yesterday with his speech to all of the generals and admirals and leaders of the military that he called. And we got a pretty gross version of what his vision and Trump's vision of the military is. And it's in some ways quite different from what we are used to, but in other ways very much the same, unfortunately.
Wow. Yeah, really good point. And I don't know how the military is going to react. I read some places where they're rolling their eyes at this person that had dodged the draft, that talked about people that were prisoner of wars as goofballs and all these things that. Yes, thank you. And just the way he talked trash about the service people, and I don't know how, and the other part too is this an attack? Is this going to be an attack on civilians? And that's what he was calling for.
Yeah, I mean, there is a whole lot to be worried about. The fact that they are sending, I believe, National Guard troops to both Portland and Memphis. According to Trump, Portland is a war zone. My friends in Portland have no idea where that war zone is supposed to be. So he's already sending military to U.S. cities, and yeah, it's just not good.
Hey, we're here with Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Merge Wisconsin. We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio. The Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Sexual abuse has hurt our Native people. It's still hurting them. My cousin was raped when she was 13, and 2 months later she found out she was pregnant. Now she is hurt because her baby has no dad. We have to stop sexual abuse against Native women and girls. We shouldn't have to experience sexual violence. Work with us to stop this abuse. That's not too much to ask for, is it?
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in October. Learn about their bachelor's degree programs on October 20th. Explore master's degrees and doctoral degrees on October 23rd. At the open house, you can attend a session about financial aid and receive help from financial aid staff. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are with our friend Ho Chunk, Arvina Martin, of the Executive Director of Merge Wisconsin, and we're just talking over things that are happening locally and nationally, and just to finish our thought, about the invasion of Memphis. Memphis out of Tennessee. I have family in Tennessee, and let me tell you, Memphis is is pretty liberal, and they even have vegan restaurants. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why they're attacking them.
And we have an Emerge Tennessee as well. They do great work down there. So shout out to
Yeah.
Frida Player, the executive director down there, also a school board member.
Well, and with what's happening nationally, it's just more important now than ever to talk about what Emerge does. But I want to finish first off with some of the headlines, and I really want to talk about Emerge and the great work that you do, but also it's national, and it's also how it really here in Wisconsin. I should say they are in Wisconsin. Sorry. Really affect our native communities and our Ho-Chunk communities in a good way. And I really want to dig deep into that the next segment. But I still have a few things. We have a shutdown going on now, and I don't know. Am I kind of I don't know, unpositive person when I say I'm glad the Democrats are doing something?
I mean, again, what they're asking for is not even anything crazy. It's asking for extending paying for affordable health care. It's not new money. It's just extending what has already been like allocated and used. So it's not like they're charting new ground here or anything. And it's, I'm glad that there are a lot of positions in that part of that legislation that just protect people that need the access to healthcare, and losing that access is I mean, absolutely life-changing for so many people, and so many people lose their lives trying to get treatment that maybe they can't afford, and that doesn't need to happen in this country.
Yeah, and we are still in a shutdown, so I'm glad I don't know, I was on Associated Press website, and there's a live camera in the government part, and there's nobody in there. And I know the Republicans didn't show up to vote, and so it's concerning. I think there's going to be pushback, and I it's affecting everything. And one of the things too, I'm going to be heading out to New York, and it's going to affect air traffic controllers. It's going to affect how it shut the key tribal support agencies like the Bureau of Indian Affairs and Indian Health Services is expected to continue operations, but it's still going to affect them if you're not getting paid, for goodness sakes.
Absolutely. I mean, what do you do if you are expected to continue to work and, are not going to get the compensation that you need in order to continue to exist in your life, and the folks in Congress still get paid, I'm sure Pete Hegseth is still going to get paid. It's just, it boggles the mind.
Yeah, it really, really does. And how is history going to be written here, in these past 10 years? And, I believe, there's people that, have read the book, People's History of the United States, that really know what the true history is. But it really seems to me that the history is going to the victors right now, and really changing a lot of narratives that even our allies that listen to the show don't know a lot of things. And we talked about the orange. I talked about the Orange Shirt Day yesterday and today. I have friends that are allies that don't know what that is.
I mean, yeah, same here on Orange Shirt Day. I will say that it's a newer holiday here in the United States. I do believe that they've celebrated it longer in Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah, same. a lot of people have never heard of it. And you see the Trump administration trying to rewrite history in this very moment, in that they will not talk about things like slavery. They're trying to take all references to slavery out of the American History Museum and the African American History Museum, and out of national parks. They've got like a narc line set up, so if you see a sign in a national park that says something, quote, mean to America, unquote, or end quote rather, that you should call this narc line and tell them, and they'll change it. That's what this administration, when they're paying people, that's what they spend their money on.
Well, speaking of that too, I just want to say this, and I'm sure our listeners know, is that people in ICE are still getting paid with this shutdown. There's a special way that they're being paid. And so there you have it again. People in ICE are getting their college loan forgiven. And there's all these things that really are twisting people's minds.
I mean, we are at the part where people are saying the quiet things out loud, and are, acting on things, and not even pretending anymore to be fair or nonpartisan in your role as an elected official. And it's just it's crazy to me. Trump today told Microsoft that they should fire somebody because she used to work for the Obama and Biden administrations. I mean, talking to a private company saying she's terrible, you should fire her.
Well, the Supreme Court finally did something, or they at least put it on hold when he was trying to fire the person from the Fed, and they said they didn't have to. So that was interesting, but it's still pending. It still could switch around, but him firing somebody that really, has nothing to do with government, people saying that he can't do that, he did it anyways, and the people bowed down to him and did fire her. So
yeah. And I'm trying to look at what the actual title of these folks that he fired today was, but I believe it was people that serve on the board of the National Humanities. I don't know if it's association or organization. I apologize for not having this on hand already, but he just fired all of the appointees that were appointed by Democrats. And so now the only remaining board members or appointees are ones that he has personally picked. So, this organization is one that doles out grant money, all over the place. So it has very real implications to, just our economy, as well as the livelihoods of a lot of Americans. And, it's probably going to go to questionable folks.
Yeah, which is ICE. And one of the things too that just popped up here too is Trump's administration puts hold on $18 billion funding for New York City infrastructure projects because he's a big baby and he doesn't like New York, and New York doesn't like them because they've been on to him way before he ran for president. When not paying bills and all these things.
Absolutely. Yeah. New Yorkers know and have known and have been knowing all about Donald Trump. And so because he can't fool them, they didn't vote for him, he's not going to give them any money. And, it contradicts in the most predictable way about, him not being serious about the things that he says he's serious on, like crime or things like that. You can't just let crime happen somewhere, and when there are things that you can offer and have offered to help mitigate and help prevent situations that are dangerous, and just, take them away because they didn't vote for him. again, this is just all insanity, but again, absolutely predictable. Like, we knew this was going to happen. New Yorkers knew it was going to happen.
Oh yeah. Well, and again, I fumbled through this. It's Supreme Court lets Lisa Cook remain as a Federal Reserve governor for now, and so I misspoke there in the beginning. And we don't have any governors. We don't have people working in his administration that'll stop this insanity. He's got all these boys that are listening to him. But hey, Arvina, can you hold on another segment? I'd really love to talk about Emerge's work here and swing to the positive because of the great organization that you helped lead.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after the short break. Please stay with us. We're with Arvina Martin, Emerge Wisconsin Executive Director.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in October. Learn about their bachelor's degree programs on October 20th. Explore master's degrees and doctoral degrees on October 23rd. At the open house, you can attend a session about financial aid and receive help from financial aid staff. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
For years, my father sexually abused me. For years, I abused alcohol and drugs to stop the hurt and rage. For years, I was afraid I would become a perpetrator just like him. I'm sober now. I've received help to recover from sexual abuse. I rely on our pipe, our ceremonies, and our culture. For the rest of my life, I'll be learning how to live with my past, because overcoming the abuse of my childhood has made me the strong man that I am today. As men in our Indian communities, we must hold each other accountable and overcome our own past of sexual abuse so that we can break this cycle.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons.
This does not bode well for the car or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
This is Alex Knorr from Buzzcut Mowing, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. I take the hard work off your plate with weekly mowing. I also offer leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I'll keep your lawn beautiful so you can enjoy your weekends with the people who matter most. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 65, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 87. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I am here with superstar Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Emerge Wisconsin, and I always enjoy our conversations. And I want to just switch gears here a little bit and really talk about your work. And I've been really blessed and lucky to know you for a few years and watch what's going on and how important your work is, and really how important it is not only to the women of Wisconsin, but also how it really affects our Native Americans too here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I am the first executive director for any Emerge affiliate that is Native. And so I come from a different skill set than a lot of folks that have the same job that I have. So I like to make sure that I am leading and working with that hat on, that Native organizing hat that I have worn for so long, and really want to be able to we talk a lot in Emerge about the concept of lift while you climb. So, you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to break those glass ceilings, but you're not only are you climbing, but you're bringing people with you. And I think that is one of the most important things that I can do is bring my community with me, whether that is helping Native folks get access to political systems, or elected officials, whether that is making sure that all of the folks that graduate from Emerge Wisconsin have been introduced to the concept of tribal sovereignty and what is federal Indian law, and how is what are good ways to engage in Indian country that are meeting folks where they are, and really coming to look at situations and problems from a different point of view. And unfortunately, Native perspectives are not heard too frequently in governmental spaces, any department. So helping folks with the knowledge, be able to come and be able to speak to folks about the things that they know and they are experts at, is a really great thing. I feel good doing it, helping both sides gain access to folks that they didn't previously have access to. And that's probably one of the most important things about doing this work, personally for me.
Right. And we talked earlier in the show about how even our allies and people that really want to respect natives and natives' ways don't know everything about what's happened to us and what because history is so. I mean, I grew up with John Wayne. I mean, that's the history that was perpetrated for our young people that maybe didn't read a book or two. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. And I certainly don't know everything either. People may come to me for their questions on, all things related to Native people, but there's nobody knows all of this stuff. And I grew up here in Madison and Dejope, but so I didn't grow up in Black River, or, my mom lived on the Mission. Growing up, my dad grew up on the Stockbridge Reservation, and I grew up in Madison, so that's away from those communities. There's a lot of things that I don't know, but I, really think it's important to make sure I know people that have that kind of knowledge that I don't have, or, in especially in fields that I'm less familiar with or completely unfamiliar with. But you know, even knowing people who know people, I think is really important because
Well,
not
I
everybody knows
know.
the answers.
Sorry, Arvina. I know too that one of the things that we like to talk about too, is especially as a Ho Chunk or whatever tribe you're from, is that there's no explanation either. We're separate. We're very similar in a lot of our ways, but very separate too in a lot of our ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And to, reduce all of Native America to, North America, South America, or both to, a single thing is absolutely wild because we don't do I'm going to check myself right there. We absolutely do that to folks from other continents as well. I was just thinking we don't do that to Europeans, but of course we don't, but we sure do that to Africans,
Yes.
reduce hundreds and thousands of amazing cultures and languages and life ways to one stereotype is I mean, it's dumb because you're missing out on so much richness of experiences and stories and ways to look at things.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree 100% on that. It's just amazing, and it's good to talk about this because all size doesn't fit one. And there was a great documentary that came out, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, called what was it called? It was about the history of movies and Native Americans and
Oh, Real Engine?
real reels engines. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And it really you talked about, why are these natives wearing headbands in Arizona? And it's like, well, it's to keep the white man's wig on. See?
I mean, that sure sounds like the right answer to me.
Yeah, and geez,
Excuse me.
and then hearing things from John Wayne, who said things like, "Well, we stole the land. The Indians didn't deserve it," and things like that. That just ring true. And I think a lot of people believe that now, and they're coming out of the bushes with what Trump's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Trump does not care for people that are educated and people that know things because those people know he's wrong on most things, if not all. So reducing people, entire groups of people, large groups of people, large disparate groups of people into one bucket, it takes away the nuance, any nuance of history and experiences, but it also otherizes that group, and makes it
Mhm.
easier for him to say, oh well, immigrants, that's the reason why you don't have a job. We're going to get rid
Right.
of immigrants, or I it makes it so much easier to see other people as being distinct from you and not sharing any of your characteristics, like in this case being American,
Right.
um trying to divide us rather than unite us. He's said that he has no interest in uniting us, and he's had ample opportunities. I mean,
Right.
we just had another shooting this
Yeah.
weekend, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. There's no way. And just his rhetoric and, there's no way. I'd like to again switch back to the great work Emerge does too. I'm sorry I took you on this other trip, but I the
I'm
amount of
always down for a
candidates.
tangent.
Yeah. Me too. But the great work that you do and the amount of candidates and the training, those things are amazing, and it just can't help but help Indian country in Wisconsin. With again, I've witnessed your 101 native talk, and it needs to be done for our allies to know and to be able to support us.
Exactly. The platform of the Democratic Party aligns quite a bit with a lot of traditional values, and I think it's really important for elected leaders, I mean, regardless of party, but for elected leaders to understand that tribal governments are peer institutions. They are no different than state or local or county governments or school boards. Folks are elected to represent their constituents, and they have the same kind of leaders, and same, departments, and everybody's got a health department, an education department, etc. And it's not, tribes are not a special interest. We are folks that have a codified relationship with the federal government, in federal law. We can certainly go into, how well that works and how well that represents or adheres to the idea of tribal sovereignty. But, it is important for people that might have to deal with tribal leaders, tribal governments, that they understand what those are and know how to appropriately work with tribes, and I think that understanding, and the recognition that tribes are, again, people that that other governments have to work with as a fellow peer. I think that
Right.
helps tribes immensely, and allows for situations where more collaboration can happen and programs can be executed, in a way that is fiscally responsible, but helps a ton of people, helping legislation for that tribes need, or that would help tribes. They've got people that understand why it's important and how to work together in order to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we got less than a minute left with you, Arvina. I really appreciate you coming on. Give us some information about Emerge Wisconsin and how people can get in touch with you. Again, it's that season again where if you're going to start running, it's time to really look into Emerge Wisconsin.
Absolutely. We have a bunch of trainings coming up. Robert, I just sent you in the chat a bit.ly link if you can pop that up. We are going to be doing another Step Forward training with the caucuses, hosted by the caucuses of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. That is going to be for people that are thinking about running for office and are trying to decide, do I run now? Do I run in 2 years? Or, should I run for school board or should I run for county board? This training, the Step Forward training, is about 90 minutes and will help you make a decision that works for you. And we have our applications open now for our class of 2026 that will be starting at the end of January. And so for the application to our next 2026 class, you can go to our website, wi.emergeamerica.org. The bit.ly link that Robert has so graciously put up on the screen is for the Step Forward that I'm thinking about running training. And that, again, will be happening on October 15th. And you can always email me at arvina at emergewi.org.
Thank you so much, Arvina. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you very soon. Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Emerge Wisconsin. We'll be right back with Wendy, and we'll be talking about some sad news. We'll be right back. It's Native Roots Radio.
Registering with the Selective Service System is something every 18-year-old guy is required to do. That's the Selective Service, not the Secret Service. When you register with Selective Service, you won't be guarding the president. Nobody's going to give you sunglasses and a black suit. You know what happens when you register with Selective Service? You'll stay eligible for college loans, jobs, and training programs. If you're a guy turning 18, go to sss.gov and register. No, karate classes are not included.
The Minneapolis Police Department is hiring, and we're looking for people ready to lead, serve, and reflect the communities we protect.
Whether you're a new graduate, changing careers, or already in law enforcement, there's a path for you to join our department.
With top-tier pay, full benefits, paid training, and a direct path to making a difference, this is more than a job. This is your chance to shape the future of Minneapolis police.
Choose service. Choose leadership. Choose Minneapolis. Visit our city website to learn more.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in October. Learn about their bachelor's degree programs on October 20th. Explore master's degrees and doctoral degrees on October 23rd. At the open house, you can attend a session about financial aid and receive help from financial aid staff. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot. I have my wife, my partner, my soulmate on right now, and some sad news today, and I asked her to come on and talk about it. And Wendy Pilot, welcome to, again, co-founder of Native Roots Radio, and hopefully all the fans that have been badgering me about you coming on are happy.
Yeah. There is very sad news.
Mhm.
One of my heroes of all time, Dr. Jane Goodall, passed away today. 91 years old. Yeah, the Jane Goodall Institute of Canada has learned this morning, Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, that Dr. Jane Goodall, DBE, UN Messenger of Peace, and founder of the Jane Goodall Institute, has passed away due to natural causes. She was in California as part of her speaking tour in the United States. Dr. Goodall's discoveries as an ethologist revolutionized science, and she was a tireless advocate for the protection and restoration of our natural world.
Hear, hear.
You know what, Robert? Excuse me, I just have to clear my throat. So yes, I see her. She comes up on my Facebook all the time because I follow her. So,
Mhm.
I just get to see like snippets of her, speeches. And last year for her 90th birthday, Robert and I went to New York City.
Yeah.
And we saw her live.
Yeah.
It was extraordinary, really. I just sat there in awe the whole time. The theater was packed. And the one thing that I just couldn't believe is that she stood up the whole time while she spoke.
Yeah. That is a good point. It was awe-inspiring. I have an autographed book from her.
Yeah.
And just knowing, I really like that part too, is that, really bringing back to the way the earth was and talking about those situations. It was great to hear the story of her life though, too, and
Mhm.
how she got involved. And
Yeah. I have a couple of little stories. Can I just read them? I found them and
Absolutely.
I'm really excited
Absolutely.
about it. Most little girls grow up with dolls or teddy bears, but Jane Goodall, no. She grew up with a stuffed chimpanzee named Jubilee. It was actually a gift from her father. Instead of scaring her, that toy became her favorite companion and maybe the first clue about the extraordinary life she was about to lead. Jane was born in London in 1934, and from a very young beginning, she was crazy about animals. That story about Jubilee shows it. But there's another one too. When she was only 4 years old, she disappeared from the house for hours, and she told us this story during her when we saw her in New York City.
Yeah.
Her family panicked until she came into the house glowing with excitement. She'd been sitting in the hen house, patiently watching a chicken lay an egg.
Oh.
Yeah. She just had to know where the eggs came from. That patience, just sitting still and observing, would end up shaping her entire career. And when we saw her in New York, when she told us this story, she also made it a point to say how her mother encouraged her curiosity and didn't get mad at her for leaving the house for 4 hours and didn't know where she was, and she didn't get scolded, but she was, encouraged in doing that. Jane didn't have any money for college, so she's trained as a secretary, but she held on to her dream. One day she'd go to Africa. She grew up reading Tarzan, and she even joked that Tarzan married the wrong Jane. She told us that too during her, when we saw her. In 1957, after saving up money from waitressing and typing jobs, she finally got herself to Kenya, and that's where fate stepped in. She met Louis Leakey, the famous anthropologist. Leakey was struck by her passion and her careful way of observing. Even though she had no scientific training, he offered her a chance most people could only dream of, to study wild chimpanzees in Tanzania.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Imagine being a young woman alone in the jungle. Well, not entirely alone. Authorities wouldn't allow it. So Jane's mother came along as her chaperone. At first, the chimps ran away whenever she got close, but Jane was patient. Day after day, she hiked into the forest, binoculars in hand, letting the chimpanzees slowly get used to her. Then came the breakthrough. In 1960, she watched a chimp named David Graybeard strip leaves off a twig and used it to fish termites from a mound. Up to that point, scientists believed only humans made tools. That one observation shattered the boundary between human and animal and made Jane world famous. From there, she went on to show that chimpanzees hunt, that they form friendships, and they feel emotions. She even earned a PhD from Cambridge University without ever having completed a college degree first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what set her apart wasn't just the discoveries. It was the way she approached them with patience, respect, and empathy. Over time, Jane became more than a scientist. She became a global voice for conservation, for education, and for hope. Through the Jane Goodall Institute and her Roots and Shoots program, she's still inspiring young people today. So I just, I'm really sad that she's gone. Listen, she's lived such a wonderful, exceptional life with such a legacy that will live on, forever.
She was a vegan too,
Yeah.
and which we always like here.
Yeah.
And she wanted people to understand that every day we live on this planet, we make some impact, and we can choose. She said, so we should ask questions. This thing we're buying, did it harm the environment? What is it made of? Was it cruel to animals? Is it cheap because unfair wages or slave labor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really a true person, just an unbelievable icon, really. And I just love listening to her. If you ever get a chance, just look up one of her videos. She's very soft-spoken,
Right.
and she just always talks about hope. And yeah, she just really made a name for herself, really.
91 years old.
91. I just can't even believe it. It just,
Shoot, if I make it to 71, I'll be lucky.
well, you know what? We don't know. We don't know what life has in store for us. But I feel like after you just read that about being like just more mindful about buying stuff, where did it
Right.
come from? Is it an ethical product? Is it
Slave labor.
I really have to do better. I think we all need to just do a little bit better.
Yeah, and talk about it and keep on
Yeah,
talking about,
absolutely.
in her memory. And again, I'm so happy that I came along with you. Was that a birthday present? I can't remember, but it was great to go there and
Yeah.
see her.
I think we saw her in January, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was a later birthday present.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and Wendy, I'll probably be asking you to come on again this week and talk a little bit more about her.
A few different stories.
It's great.
Not
Hey,
about her, but about other things too.
right on.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're signing off. We'll see you tomorrow again. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.